All right, let's start with a big one. What's more important, your best friend or your true love? It's a tough one, right? Well, today we're diving into one of Shakespeare's earliest and, yeah, most controversial comedies. It's a story that really pushes the limits of loyalty and asks that timeless, almost impossible question about where our hearts truly lie. Okay, let's put it this way. Imagine you had to make a choice, a real, no turning back choice, between your ride or die best friend and the person you are just head over heels in love with. I mean, that's the exact dilemma that sits right at the very heart of this play. It's the conflict that fuels literally every single decision. And yeah, every single betrayal. So this play, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, was written way back around 1590. You can almost think of it as Shakespeare in beta mode. Seriously, he's trying out all these ideas that he's going to totally perfect in his later masterpieces. It's packed with all those Renaissance ideals, honor, courtly love, the whole deal. But it also gets really, really messy. It shows us just how surprisingly fragile even our strongest connections can be. Okay, let's meet our guys. The story kicks off in Verona with two best buds, Valentine and Proteus. They are absolutely inseparable, Their bond seems completely unbreakable. But, as you can probably guess, they're about to head down two very, very different paths that are going to put that friendship to the ultimate test. And you can see how different they are right from the get-go. Valentine, he's the ambitious one. He wants to get out there, see the world, make a name for himself. But Proteus, nope. He is all about his heart. He'd much rather just stay home with the woman he's in love with. And this basic difference between them, well, that's the engine that drives this whole story. And the woman he's in love with, her name is Julia. Now, before all the drama kicks off, Proteus and Julia have this really sweet, really sincere moment. They declare their love for each other, and they even exchange rings as a promise, a symbol of their loyalty. And hey, make a mental note of those rings. Trust me, they become super important later on. All right, so the story moves. We're now in Milan. Valentine heads off to the big city, and it's not long before Proteus's dad basically forces him to go too, hoping a little travel will make a man out of him. But it's in this new, fancy city that everything, and I mean everything, starts to fall apart. So get this, Valentine, the guy who was always so practical, the one who made fun of love, yeah, he immediately falls completely head over heels for Silvia, who just happens to be the Duke of Milan's daughter. And she feels the same way. But, there's always a but, it has to be a secret. Why? Because her dad has already promised her to some other guy, a rich but kind of clueless suitor. This line from Proteus really tells you everything you need to know about his state of mind when he leaves Verona. He totally sees himself as the true romantic, right? He's leaving his one true love, Julia, while his buddy Valentine is off chasing fame and fortune. And it's this self-image that makes what he does next so shocking. Because this is it. This is the turning point. Proteus gets to Milan. He takes one single look at Silvia, his best friend's new love, and poof! That deep, profound love he had for Julia, it just vanishes. And his rock-solid loyalty to Valentine, completely forgotten. It is an absolutely stunning, incredibly fast, and total collapse of his entire character. Yeah, this isn't just some simple crush. No way! It's a full-blown obsession, and it sends Proteus down a really dark road. He decides he has to have Silvia, and he's willing to throw everything away to get her. His best friend, the woman he promised to love, and even his own honor. And look, his betrayal isn't just one bad decision. It's a series of them, a cold, calculated plan. First, the obsession completely wipes his memory of Julia. Then he actively ditches the promise he made to her like it meant nothing. And when he finds out that Valentine and Silvia are planning to run away together, he doesn't even hesitate. He goes right to her dad, the Duke, and spills the beans. And the worst part? He just stands there and watches as his best friend gets banished, which back then was pretty much a death sentence. I mean, it is the ultimate act of betrayal. He's not just backstabbing his friend to win over a girl who, by the way, isn't even into him. He is actively, intentionally destroying Valentine's life, all for his own selfish obsession. But wait, here's where the plot really thickens. Julia, who is still completely loyal, has actually followed Proteus to Milan. For her own safety, she disguises herself as a page boy named Sebastian, and then, in one of the most incredible bits of dramatic irony ever, she gets hired by Proteus himself. Think about that for a second. She has to pretend to be someone else, watching the man she loves betray her, and she even has to act as his messenger, delivering his love letters to another woman. It's just constant, silent torture for her. So, you've got Valentine banished and Julia hiding in plain sight. Their lives take these two wildly different turns. One of them has to build a new life out in the forest, while the other is trapped in a lie right in the middle of all the action. And the contrast between what happens to them is pretty incredible. On one hand, you have Valentine. He gets banished, sure, but then he's captured by this group of noble outlaws, and they're so impressed with him, with his character, that they make him their captain. So even in exile, he's still a man of honor. Then you have Julia. She's stuck in this web of deception. While Proteus is throwing his honor away for his own selfish desires, she's forced to give up her entire identity, her loyalty being tested every single minute as she watches him tear down everything they once shared. Okay, so all these different storylines, the betrayal, the disguise, the exile, they are all about to collide. Silvia manages to escape Milan to try and find Valentine. But of course, Proteus goes after her, which leads every single one of our characters to a final massive confrontation out in the forest. So Proteus finally tracks Silvia down, and this is where his obsession just completely boils over. He's done trying to sweet-talk her. He basically tells her, if I can't have you willingly, I will take you by force. And then, bam! Everything happens at once. Just as Proteus tries to assault Silvia, Valentine steps out of the shadows. He confronts the man who used to be his best friend, and the second Proteus sees him, he's just crushed by shame and mumbles a quick apology. And right in the middle of all that chaos, Julia, who has seen everything, just faints. Her disguise is blown, revealing her true identity and the true devastating scale of Proteus's betrayal of both of them. So what does Valentine do after all of that, the lies, getting banished, the attack on the woman he loves? What does he do? He forgives him. Just like that. Instantly. Honestly, it's one of the most argued about moments in all of Shakespeare's plays. From our perspective today, it's just baffling, right? But you have to remember, back in the Renaissance, the bond between two men, that friendship, was often considered the highest form of love, maybe even more important than romantic love. Still, wow, the speed of that forgiveness is just jarring. And with that one act of forgiveness, the play just ties up all the loose ends like lightning. The Duke shows up, finally figures out what's really going on, and gives his blessing for Valentine and Silvia to get married. A humbled Proteus goes back to the incredibly faithful Julia. So friendship is back on, the right couples are together, and everything, it seems, is perfectly fine. Which, of course, brings us right back to that big question from the beginning. The play ends with this perfect, happy resolution, but it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? Was Proteus really sorry? Can a betrayal that deep really be wiped clean with just a few words? Is forgiveness just a gift you give, or is it something that actually has to be earned? I'd love to know what you think.